Hi everyone, welcome back to day 8 of my 25 days of Christmas. I really had to think about what day it was because I cannot remember anymore, which is sad because we're not even halfway through and I'm already forgetting which days are which. So anyway, welcome back. I hope you guys are enjoying this. If you have not been following along and not been keeping up with what's going on, I have been posting a new project every single day, and I intend to do that for the first 25 days of December leading up to Christmas, hence my 25 days of Christmas. On a side note, I feel like I explain this differently every single time because it's just kind of what comes to my mind while I'm filming. So there's that. If you've been following along, you get to hear a fun new explanation as to what I'm doing every single time. So anyway, for today, we're going to be working and focusing on the Snowflake Wishes bundle. And I made this really fun watercolor card, which definitely doesn't scream like your traditional Christmas, winter, holiday season. But I saw a lot of people doing like pinks and purples, and I just had to try it out, and I love how this turned out. So before we get into that though, today's video includes a giveaway. So I'm doing some sporadic giveaways throughout the various days of my projects, and so today I am doing another giveaway. So for today, I'm going to be doing a little like adhesive bundle giveaway. So I'm going to be giving away in one little bundle, so there will only be one winner for all the items. I'm going to be giving somebody some Stampin' seals, some dimensionals, and some adhesive sheets. And I love our adhesive sheets. I don't think I hear people talk about them enough and just how amazing they really are. And so I wanted to put together a little bundle of goodies to send to somebody so that somebody else can try them out and hopefully fall in love with them just like I am. So anywho, let's just go ahead. Oh, I should mention, how do you enter the giveaway, one might ask. Visit the coordinating blog post to this video, which is the first link in the description box below. And there will be all the information there on how you can enter the giveaway. So now let's go ahead and work on this card. So like I said, we're going to be using Snowflake Wishes and the So Many Snowflake dies as kind of our main focal and kind of our inspiration. So let me find a place to move this card so that it's not in my way. Let's just go ahead and jump in. So we are going to be doing a watercolor background. So I have a piece of our watercolor paper here. And I'm going to zoom in just a smidge so you guys can see a little bit better. I'm going to be using Magenta Madness ink, and I'm going to just grab, I do this a lot, I just grab a clear block and I put some ink onto the clear block, and that's what I used to watercolor. Actually, you know what? While I have my ink kind of out and open, I'm going to take a little scrap here of Whisper White cardstock, and I'm going to grab my sentiment here. This sentiment says, "Our friendship is one of a kind." So again, this is definitely a winter card, but it's not a Christmas card, and you could take this same concept and you could use it for really anything. This is a friendship card, but you could put a birthday sentiment on it or any other kind of sentiment that you wanted to and make it really whatever you want. Thinking of you, you could turn it into birthday, you could do a bunch of different stuff. So I'm just going to take this piece and set it off to the side. I just figured I'd stamp it while I had everything out and available. So back to the watercoloring. So I just took my Magenta Madness ink pad and put a little bit of ink onto this clear block. Now I am just going to take my aqua painters, and I'm going to be using this big one first. And really what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the brush really saturated. And I'm going to just get my paper nice and wet. Because I want to be able to just drop the color on here and it just kind of flow. There's definitely a bunch of different techniques that you can do when you're watercoloring. Everyone kind of has their own little way of going about it. I just find this is what worked really well for me when I was creating this project. So now I'm going to take one of my smaller painters, and this is actually like the medium size, I guess you could call it. And I'm going to try to get some water into the brush so that we can start mixing up some color. There we go. And I'm going to get my water, I want my color pretty diluted just so that I have lots of control over the color that I get. And that looks really good to me. And I'm just going to kind of drop in very kind of random, willy-nilly my color. You can see I'm constantly squeezing my brush, adding more water, diluting the color a bit more, just kind of going back over different areas. I like to kind of work down and then kind of go back and fill in extra spots, and that kind of allows you to have some like variations. So this part up here is going to dry a little bit so that when you go and add more on top of it, you get a really nice layered effect, and that's how you get a lot of dimension and a lot of variation in color and whatnot from only using one ink pad. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to do a little bit more down here. I actually want a lot of water because I think I want everything else to be a little bit lighter. So I'm just going to go in, and now I'm going to start to fill in some of those areas where there wasn't a lot of color before. And you can see I get a bunch of different, like especially right here, you can really see I get lots of streakiness. And I really like that for this project because the background is really our centerpiece. It's our focal point. There's not, I mean, we have some snowflakes and stuff, but there's not a ton of stuff going on in this card. And so creating a really fun background is really, the focal point of this project. I did also pull Highland Heather because I thought I may drop a few accents of purple in. I'm very undecided right now, so I'm not 100% sure if that's what I'm going to do or not. I didn't do it on my sample when I was designing this project. I just used Magenta Madness, and don't know if I want to add some purple into the mix or not. I'm very conflicted. I feel like it would look really, really pretty, but then at the same time, I think this looks really, really pretty too. So I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think? Channel past Lindsay filming this video and tell me what I should do. I kind of think I'm going to leave it because I just really like the color variations and I don't want it to get too muddy. Yep, I'm just going to leave it. So you could add in like a purple or a blue would be really nice with this also. And all I would do with that is, again, do the same thing. So put my ink pad down onto my clear block, pick up the same technique with water, and then just in a few spots add in some purple or whatever accent color you wanted to use. But I'm going to leave mine because I think it looks really nice and I don't want to make it too complicated or muddy up this really pretty design that I already have going. So now what I'm going to do, and I like to do this while my paper is still a little damp, which this one for sure is because I literally just got done watercoloring it. I am going to take this, what is this called? This is like the Snowflake something or other embossing folder. Maybe it's just the Snowflake embossing folder. I don't know. But I'm going to take my piece of watercolor paper and I'm going to stick it into the embossing folder. And we're going to emboss this. And the reason that I like doing it while my paper is a little bit wet is I find that you get more of a deeper impression when the paper is a little damp. So I'm going to create my little sandwich, and I grabbed this. I don't know why, because I don't need it. This is a regular embossing folder. I don't know what I was thinking. So I have my 1 plate down. I'm putting a 3 plate, my embossing folder, and then another 3 plate on top because this is a regular embossing folder, not a 3D. Running through just like that. If you wanted to do it a second time, you for sure could. I don't find that it's 100% necessary. I think you get a really nice impression with just one, and so there is that. So stinking pretty. It's still a little damp, so it may warp just a little bit, but I think it's really, really nice. And you could even do this if you flipped it around. You could do this with just Whisper White or something, and that would be really, really pretty also. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to set that off to the side. Now, I have my cut and emboss, so I'm going to go ahead, and there are a couple snowflakes that I have on this piece. So from that snowflake dies, whatever it's called, I put it somewhere. So many snowflakes dies. There is this little snowflake here. I'm going to be cutting 2 of these out. I already cut 1 out just so you guys didn't have to see me do 2. And then we're going to take our little sentiment that we already stamped, and this is from the Tasteful Label dies, I believe. Is that right? Yes, it is from the Tasteful Label dies. And I'm going to cut out our sentiment. So one thing that I wanted to say before I do this, so this is the piece that I am going to cut out my snowflake on. I went ahead and those amazing embossing sheets that I was talking to you guys about that someone is going to get for free, I went ahead and put some of the adhesive sheets on the back of this. Now, the reason being is because these are I'll show you, this is the one that I already cut out. These are very, very, very delicate snowflakes, and so it's hard to get adhesive on the back of these. I'll just be honest. I tried dimensionals, and you can use like a mini dimensional and snip it in half and put it there, but I still didn't really love the look of it. So I went with adhesive sheets because I just think it works the best. So for the piece that I'm cutting out my snowflake with, I went ahead and put some adhesive sheets on the back of that. So now let's grab our machine once more, get the right plates. So I have my 1, my 2, my 3, my dies. So that one can just kind of get thrown on there because it doesn't really matter where it goes as long as it's on the piece. And then my sentiment, and we're going to cut it out like so. Just like that. Perfect. Okay, so now I have this sweet little sentiment here. I love this one. And then I have my little snowflake. So you may get this out, and here, let me move all this out of the way so you don't have to look at it. You may pull this out and think, oh man, how am I going to get this snowflake out of here? So it's actually really, really easy. All I did was, you can find where it's like separating a little bit, like this one here. So you can see the die is separated, or the piece is already separated. I just rip the backing piece, so not my actual snowflake, but the back piece, and then you can very easily kind of tease out your snowflake. Just like that. Super, super, super easy. And then you have a few pieces on the inside that I just use my Take Your Pick tool, and they pop out really, really easily. Just like so. Okay, now it's time to really start putting this card together. So I'm going to grab my watercolor piece here, and let me zoom out just a smidge so that it's easier for you to see. Watercolor piece, I'm going to be using some of this, what is this called? Snowflake Splendor ribbon. So, so, so pretty. And because it's like clear and iridescent, it really picks up kind of whatever color you put it with. And so it has a really pretty, like, I think on its own, it has like a pretty pink hue to it, but on top of this piece, it just looks phenomenal. So I'm going to take some regular Scotch tape. You guys know, y'all have been around, you know how I do this, but for those of you that are new, let's do it. So I'm going to take my regular old Scotch tape, I'm going to put my ribbon across, I'm going straight across on this piece, and I'm going to tape it down on the back. I'm leaving, let's say that's about an inch, maybe an inch and a quarter, probably about an inch. And then I'm going to, on the back, I'm going to go diagonally up and do my second little stripe. Actually, I want them a little bit closer, just like that. I'm looking at it to make sure it's straight. There we go, straight enough for me. I'm going to fold this down on the back. I just hold it with my finger for a second and then stick it down like that. Perfect. Grab my snips, snip off the end, and there is the start to our piece. So, so stinking pretty, right? So next I'm going to take my little snowflakes, and yes, your piece is going to warp a little bit. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's kind of help that issue. I'm going to grab my card base. This is Thick Whisper White. And let's go ahead and adhere this piece onto our card base so that we get rid of some of that warping, and it starts to lay really nice and pretty. So because this is watercolor paper and there's a lot of water on it and we have ribbon, I'm going to be using Stampin' Sealed Plus so that I know this is going to get really nice and adhered down and it's not going to go anywhere. I'm also doing a little bit extra than I normally do, again, just because watercolor paper, ribbon, all of that good stuff. So now I'm going to stick this piece down just like so. Okay, and see, now it's laying nice and flat and really, really pretty. This will help kind of put everything together when you have this nice flat base. So I am now going to take my little snowflakes here, and I'm going to start peeling up the backing on these. I just use my take your pick tool, and it comes off pretty easily, like you can see here. Pretty quick and easy. These pieces over here actually were a separate piece, so I'm going to peel those off. And I thought there was another piece, but maybe not. Okay, so now I'm just going to stick this down. So I'm going to kind of put my snowflakes in the bottom left corner, just like so. And I just stick it down. I stick it right on the ribbon. It pushes the ribbon down just a bit, but I don't mind it. I think it actually looks really, really nice. And then I'm going to take this one and find where I can start to peel up from. There's always like a little edge that you can start your tool and just kind of work your way around. So once you have one piece, you can kind of peel it off. And like I said, this sticks together pretty well, the backings of these. And so you can peel the backing off pretty easily. Even with this really delicate snowflake, it goes down really, really easily. So I'm going to stick this one kind of in the middle on the top. I think right there looks good. And again, I'm just kind of going for it. You can eyeball it a little bit more than I did and kind of fuss around with it, but I'm not going to worry about it. Because then I'm going to take my little sentiment here and I'm going to grab some dimensionals. Now you could even do like a third snowflake over here to kind of balance things out if you wanted to. I think it looks really nice just like this. But you could absolutely add some more in there if you wanted to. And you know what? I need another another sheet of dimensionals. There we go. So I'm just going to put some dimensionals on the back of our little sentiment here and stick it right down there in the bottom right hand corner. And that is our card for today, guys. I really hope you enjoy this one. I love this one. I love the like bright pink kind of color combination. I think it's just absolutely gorgeous. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this project. And don't forget, there is a fun giveaway that's going along with this video. So make sure you check out the coordinating blog post, which is the first link in the description box below. If you're interested in supporting my little business and purchasing any of the products that I talked about, you can do that by going to littlemooncreation.stampinup.net. I truly, truly, truly appreciate everybody that has decided to support my business and purchase something from me. You have no idea how much it means, and I am so grateful for everyone that has supported me along the way. So if you are interested, littlemooncreation.stampinup.net. And then you can also visit just my website in general, which is littlemooncreation.com. You can catch up on the previous projects in my 25 Days of Christmas, previous projects that I've created, and just kind of see what's going on over there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this project. Don't forget to go and enter the giveaway and check everything out. And then make sure you come back for tomorrow's video. So I will see you in the next one.